you what, I was sitting here trying to make my thing look so pretty that I actually got a little behind. Got a little behind and didn't realize it. I was listening to some Grant Cardone cutting up, and I, I realized, oh crap, I'm 6 minutes late. No wonder why my phone's ringing. That's Mickey probably saying, dude, what are you doing? How's everybody doing? Everybody excited? Thursday? Um, I'm going to give you something special today. Um, I'm going to get my closest boys here to give me some feedback. All right. I see Tony, Joseph, Good, Vita. All of you have been with me for a long time. This is my family here. Check this out. So I'm going to get your opinion on something. And there's a guy who I like a lot. He's really cool. He has a widget that a plugin that actually he has over 400 dealers using it, but it basically controls inventory for dealers and makes it easy for them, right? If you had the capability, do you remember the website we had, Dealer Car Search at Southern Point Auto? Give me some responses in the question box. We got to be proactive for a minute. Pay attention because this is important, what I'm about to talk to y'all about. I'm going to let y'all tell me what you want and what direction to go on this. Do you remember like a base website like that? Anybody? Need some responses, guys. Come on. Who remembers Dealer Car Search, like independent type websites? Who remembers? Man, I'm starting to question if y'all can hear my audio. Can anybody remember hear my audio? Okay. Okay. All right. Just making sure. All right. But everybody knows about like you got dealer.com on new cars, right? But you have Dealer Car Search. There's I don't know. There's several different little just mom and pop used car. I hated them, to be honest, man. They were like mediocre at best, really lukewarm, right? How many of you think or have had any independents ask you for a website? Could you handle their website? I hear it quite often, actually. But has anybody else heard that? Okay, a couple. Okay, good. Yep. All right. Yeah. Okay. So my biggest issue is like I hate collecting the content and stuff, right? So that's what just drives me bonkers. Either it's me getting the content or me waiting on the content, right? Both takes too long for me. What if you had all that? What if you had access to a software that would literally, in 5 to 8 minutes, you pick the template, boom, it loads up. You plug in the feed, booyah, you got an independent car site that you can sell and charge $300-400 a month recurring hosting for. What do you think about that? Does that interest anybody? Mark Casey, I didn't think you were going to make it. Vita, you like it? Okay. Now, here's what's cool. Here's what's cool. You not only can you build out a car website, you also can build out like a cars.com or an autotrader.com, and a lot of conglomerates, like these 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 and 20 car dealership chains or whatever, you can sell them their own cars.com. In addition to that, we, as a collective direct hit media, will also have our own with everybody's website on it, so it'll be a value add. What do y'all think of that? Right? Now, here's what's really even cooler than that. And if you got a chance to pitch in, because I'm asking some vital stuff here, right? The same software and technology that does that, they also built me out where we can start selling salesman websites. You pick the template, you populate it, boom, it goes. And I think, what is it, like 18 million car salesmen in the country? You get 1% of the market at 69 bucks a month or $59 a month. That's the way I think we should charge for the salesman's websites. I think it's a no freaking brainer. It's going to happen. It's sign and go, sign and go. In fact, I think we should try and put them on freaking webinars. You know what I mean? But just load up car salesmen on webinars and close them, you know, by the masses. Line them up just like when they were getting trained. Remember that? You know what the saying is? Anybody remember what the saying was I taught in my auto course? Every month when we would hire 20 salespeople, you hire them in masses, train them in classes, and then what? Does anybody remember the third line? It's brutal. You fire all their asses because you get one that would make it. Literally, it was awesome. There you go, Tony. Who thinks that's cool? Now here's the issue though. The guy who developed it did a great job in training. I really like the guy a lot. He's a lot more calm and collective. He's a little bit more coder type than Sid is, but he does have car experience, and I really like the guy. And there was a couple of times I started to work with him back in the Brian days. I just didn't want to step on Brian's toes and whatnot, you know what I mean? And so I kind of pushed him off, but I really like the guy a lot. And I'll tell you his name later on, but when I do it, okay? But here's the deal. With this software, it's not cheap, but only 10 can get it. It's like this guy's really anal about over delivering the you know, the support side and making sure everybody is trained, and it's serious. It's like a real deal. Like this guy really he does exact opposite of me. Like his stuff really is very complete, and I like that. Right? I think I could reverse engineer the whole thing and maybe save some money, but I personally like the solid training. I don't want to half-ass train people where they don't have conclusions and certainty to what they're selling. Does everybody agree on that? Let me know, because I don't want to promote something that is going to be off, but man, this thing's looking pretty, and I love the salesman website idea, you know. But when I say expensive, it's pretty expensive. A big quarter is what he's selling it for. Anybody know what a big quarter is? What's a little quarter? 5 nicks, 5 nickels. What is it? It's actually 12.5 Dugans. No, divide 25 grand, Chris says. Yeah, no, I wouldn't let them do that to you. It's 2,500 bucks. But dude, you're gonna be one of 10 people in the area that has it. What do you think? Say yes or no. Yes or no in the box right now. To promote, you don't have to mean you're buying. Just yes or no if you want me to make this available, because it's going to take a lot of effort on my half, and I like it. I just didn't know if people are over on the websites or if they would do that. I love the salesman idea. All right, give me a yes or no real quick. I know, right? You got to. That's what I know. 2,500 bucks. You definitely got to see what he's got. I totally agree. Lonnie, it's a software tool that'll basically, they pick a template and you can build out a cars.com or a independent website like instantaneous. They handle all the feeds. They're in with all the companies. It's easy. So we got one pass, which I understand. We got one if it was just a little bit better price, which trust me, I'm not through beating on them. All right. Okay. Well, I'll beat the brakes off this guy on the price. Don't worry about that. Or I'll make him throw in so much stuff that it's over. Good ideas. Hope my bonuses come through. What bonuses are you looking for, Dale? Dale, what are you missing? Oh yeah, on your 10,000. Yeah, I forgot. Did everybody see that in the group? You can $15 gives you a chance, and I'm going to record it video. Man, it was pretty cool. Just talking open. A guy sent me to a job, or sent me to this website, and they're doing donations, what they guys legally have to call it, but they're doing guns, Glocks, gold coins, all kinds of stuff, and they're literally doing a donate, like they'll go 40 by 28, or they'll call out the number, how many, and they're filling up in 15, 20 minutes. And one guy's won like 3 guns today. He's only spent $150. It's crazy. But they're killing it, and they're probably making a little profit doing it. It's called the Spot. Anybody wants to be added in there, I'll add you in there and let you see what I'm talking about. It's a pretty innovative way. I just thought it would be cool to do it where somebody actually gets 10,000 drops for $15 or 30 if you buy 2 spots or whatever, and I'm donating $75. We'll do to somebody who needs Christmas. Every year I help somebody. It's not hard to find them to get their Christmas. I find some single mom or whatever I can do. What I'd love to do if we could, and Brian always agreed with me to do it, but we never did. Man, I think it'd be cool as crap to go into like Target with a Santa outfit the day before Christmas, Christmas Eve, where you know the people that have stuff on layaway are not going to get it, and to pay the layaway. Talked to a friend of mine that worked for Kmart for years, and she said on Christmas Eve that layaway is around $2 to $5 grand, and I just think that would be the cool saying. Totally like bearded up, nobody knew who you were. You know what I mean? Anonymously walk in there and just pay off the layaway and let them call the people and tell them that they got Christmas when they didn't think they were going to get it. You know. Anyways, so we'll work on that one year, and we'll actually probably make a big deal out of it and have fun. Everybody like giving when they can? Everybody? Yep. Makes you feel good, doesn't it? All right, last thing that I think is super sexy, right? Check this out. I've got a member who offered his software to let us use that we can do out press releases, and it syndicates, and he pays a pretty substantial amount of money every month. I've always said, I think, I wanted to put a stop rule that we did 2 PR releases a month. Just get, the Grant Cardone 10X, get your message and everything you can out there and just dominate with content, right? And Brian and I never really did it much. Now, I did 15 or 20 press releases over the couple of years we were together, but it just wasn't important to him. But I think press releases are everything. I think it's huge to get your content out there, especially positive content. Even more so if you got any negative content out there, right? So anyways, if you all will, I get Fiverr. I can even recommend this one guy that writes pretty good press releases. If all of you want to do, hey, by the way, ABC Company is now official reseller site partner of Direct Hit Media located in San Diego or wherever you're located, South Atlanta, Daryl, wherever you're located, and get a press release written, and by the way, it's home of CarDrops, the best RVM campaign in automotive, blah 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 blah. I'll give you some I'll show mine first, and everybody can spin off of it or use some of the content. Would everybody be interested in actually syndicating a PR release of your site partnership at a significantly cheap price? And when I say cheap, under $20 is what he's figuring it'll cost him. Would anybody be players on that? Swing, bada, swing, bada, swing. Yeah, I think it'd be cool too, right? Goes out to PR web, all kinds of stuff. It builds backlinks, and it helps. But under $20, I think it's probably worth it. In fact, I mean, if I could somehow just absorb it, I would, and just pay for it. You know what I mean? And Chris, I'll tell you exactly who it is. And if you have you'll have a copy of your PR release or whatnot, but you can send it out additionally besides that. But it was a bunch of good places. You know what I mean? And anyways, I want us to kind of use that to our benefit, and that way nobody has to go out and pay the $1,000 a month for the software or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's talk sales. I got a bonus I'm going to do today at 4 o'clock for everybody that bought the pay-per-call, which is like the PR, the thing that William Mears did. I'm sharing it in his group, and we're doing some stuff. Also, we're talking about, I'm talking with Mark Helton, believe it or not, about possibly doing another Digital Sales Academy type event where we close the customers for you. Or let me correct that. I close the customers for you, right? Like we did in Peachtree City and whatnot. Does that interest anybody? Would you want to go? Because I mean, obviously, you would get a free ticket. but it still costs, you know, I want to do it in Atlanta because it's cheap tickets, but, um, you know, we're going to sell the tickets for like $4.97. Anybody that's a direct hit media site partner gets it for free. Yeah. Um, Mark, the thing with Mark, his software is a little confusing sometimes, and he gets so mad at me when I say that. But one thing that I like what he does is I like the fact that you could call the ones that it misses. All y'all are white label partners already, most of you, everybody I've talked to. But I like the fact that he sends out to the ones that missed the second day, and I also like the fact that um, he's he and I are working together on putting together where they push the message through even if it's not a cell. So that way you don't have the append and you don't have to replace it. Even if you replace it with make and model data that Paul's had and stuff, it's not as good as an actual customer. And we're just letting them go because their cells don't append. So I think that's a low-hanging good fruit to you know, to beef up these campaigns, right? So I reached out to Mark and asked him, you know, hey, listen, can you mind if I have like a CarDrop Plus that maybe you help me and I want to, you know, cover those two parts of the fulfillment? And he agreed. Now they're going to cost a little bit more money, but you know, we'll see some of the case studies and the results from them, and if they make sense, then they'll be popular. If they don't make sense, we'll fire them like the trainees, right? um, everybody knows to pretty fast, Vito. We're going to do it really fast. In fact, I've already got campaigns started right now. Everybody knows that we got we our call center lady that did so well in the beginning, and then we had all the references under the sun. We thought we finally found a BDC that was going to be the answer to our solution. I caught posting up bogus leads. She was posting up bogus appointments. They weren't true appointments. It was wood, is what I call it. And man, it pissed me off. And I personally don't think she was doing it. I think it was somebody that worked for her, and you know, they were just still she's responsible for it, but not good, right? So it really upsets me, you know, because I take that stuff personal, and it sucks because if we're, you know, if I have to choose to outsource to somebody like a BDC like that, and they burn us, me and Tony, Joseph talked a little bit about this, and they burn us, it affects us, you know what I mean? And as long as, honestly, as long as we're relying on somebody outside of our control to be in control of that, it's always going to be a struggle. I mean, you know, we're going to be vulnerable. We're going to have a weak spot in the balloon, right? So I've been pushing Mark, and I called him, and really that's when we started talking again a lot. I called him and said, dude, let's create our own call center, our own BDC. And the reason why I wanted to is because I know Mark's a stud at that stuff. But two, it's so pivotal, man. It can make a bad campaign good, and it can make a good one great. It's such a key piece to what we're doing and what we've got tied in. And I tell you, the guy with the best call center is going to win the deals and get the re-signs every time. Does everybody agree and see the power of all that? Now, managing one of them SOBs is a bitch, man, because you know you're always hiring and firing and doing all that stuff, blah blah blah, and you know you got to size up, size down, whatever. Now, you guys know, you know, I've made it no secret. I've told you the Burst Brothers, they help out some of the strugglings or the different people, and they did a call center a couple weeks ago that rocked it. Guess where the call center was? Guess where they found these people? I'll give you 10 guesses, and none of them count. They hired the damn prison, man. They got the prisoners to do it. Now, for me, that just scares me to death because I can see like one of these prisoners falling in love with one of our customers and they get in public or something. I don't know. It just seemed weird, right? But let me tell you some results. 30,000 pieces of mail, 1,100 ups, 700 appointments, or 1,100 appointments, 700 showed. And they did it with these prisoner guys. A little uncomfortable with that, right? That don't sound like too much control, and you know, I just don't know if I can do it. Now, what that tells you is that having the hard piece of direct mail does help out a lot on the appointment show and the appointment rates and the people actually taking it serious, right? The RVMs, I mean, you gotta think most of the time they're not even uh, listening to the message. So therefore, like we've talked before, it's like a reverse cold call. You got to use a call to action. That's really all you got power for, right? There's no hard mailer in their hands to describe or let people to soak it in and see exactly what the message is. So we have to have a more advanced closer to do that, okay? Or start adding direct mail with every piece. You know what I mean? But what I want to do is create that call center. So I'm working with Helton possibly because he's got some software that'll work, and as long as I ain't got to use it, it could rock. Okay. Um, Tony said he's got some old, um, old 976 type operators that are doing pretty good. I did some study on it and talked to some people that really know what they're talking about, and they said if you're trying to save money, is to look in Egypt. And the reason why is the Egyptians, their English actually sounds kind of like a Texas accent, and they're just natural born closers, from the straw marks and all that stuff. I tell you, if I ever did like a wild sales training, I think it'd be cool to take money and you got to go buy and see who could actually put together the best, and by buying and negotiating at the straw mart in Bahamas, dude, you got to negotiate your change back, bro. I mean, it's just brutal, the negotiation they have, but it's everyday business to them. You know what I mean? But okay, that's the laundry. Anybody got opinions on that, or give me some pushback or feedback, or I don't want to, I'm not out looking for things to promote to make money or pay my bills. The internet marketing does not pay it never has. Um, and honestly, that's the whole reason why I even came up with 1%, is because I got tired of promoting every week, and I wanted to be able to choose and decide when I wanted to promote. I didn't want to have to feel like I had to promote something. You know what I mean? So I want to build something here that we can pass on, or eventually maybe one day cash in, and I'll be drinking boat drinks down in the Caribbean, right? I hope everybody else has the same intentions with this also. Any input, any questions, yep. Lonnie says he loves the in-house. I do too, man. Like, I'm willing to take it on. It's something, it reminds me when Brian was wanting us to buy into the car dealerships. I was like, I'll do it, but I don't want to do it. People have heart attacks do that. I like my life of, going to masterminds and laying out in the Caribbean every day. But I'll do it for you, buddy, if you say it's the right thing. You know what I mean? Big mistake. Can confirm the appointments, maybe a manager from, yeah. A solid in-house call center is imperative. I totally freaking agree, man. It really is such a pink elephant in the room, man. It's so imperative and it's so important. I just can't trust anybody to do that, Yeah, that's how I got into super sales. I just did the direct mail, but I kept hiring these degenerate teams. I mean, that looked good on the outside, but then embarrassed me when they went in. That I had to personally start. I had to build my own team just so I could have somebody that I could, hold my head up when I allowed them to go into my dealers, right? Careful what you wish for, you might get it, right? So, all right, cool. All right, well, that gives me some good info, and I'll go to work, and I'll try and see what we can do, and hopefully I'll over deliver and under promise and over deliver with anything that I just told you. All right, so I got a bonus that I'm going to do here in a couple hours for the people that bought the pay-per-call model, but I wanted to go ahead and go over it with you guys because it's very effective, and it's what we're going to do on a next event. Now, in this, I didn't use Automotive. I did use who's Paul's BDC, Mike? I don't even know he had a BDC. I know he was in with the Wanda lady. But that's the lady that we just caught posting up bogus ads. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, man. Wanda's gone, man. I fired her. There's no coming back. You can't. I mean, she's like three of my appointments actually showed out of 13 booked. I think with Larry Roberts, like one showed, out of 15 appointments. We had Hunter call all her no's and actually booked 15 appointments off her no's. She only booked like 11 or 12 getting the calls raw. It just once that like trust has been crossed, I'm done. I can't risk. First, I just can't stomach dealing with people like that. But two, I can't risk them burning you guys. You guys will fry me at the stake. Before I know it, you're over there in voice drops, kissing ass. I'm just playing. All right. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over this real quick. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to get a good recording. And if you want this, I'm actually going to promote a 3-day sale. I want to try and do some low ticket stuff because I don't want everybody to think anytime they see me promoting it's going to be $500 or $300. So I'm going to sell this for $29 over the next 3 days. But you get it live because you're my my homies. All right. All right. Here we go. So hey, hang on one second. I gotta get on to the dog. We come. She's scratching because she's starving. Ashley, she's got headphones on. Wouldn't you know it? She's starving. She's scratching. I mean, she's like, she's. I think she's hungry. All right. Sorry about that. Real world stuff, right? Here we go. So, direct hit media. How you doing? I'm Sid Michael. We do a mainly automotive based agency. We're doing what big agencies want and what small agencies can't. We handle direct mail. We focus towards automotive, and we've got almost 45 site partners across the U.S. and we're doing deals every day. Today we're going to have you here. I'm going to help you learn how to pitch contractor leads. Now, when I'm talking about contractor leads, I'm thinking of, roofing, plumbing, garage doors, stuff like that. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Sid Michael. I spent many years in the car business. I've been in sales my entire life. You can see me and my mom. We took my nieces to Disney World up there. I'm Goofy and she's Donald Duck. Right next to that is Chase Channel. He was general manager of Rick Case Kia. Now he is part owner, general manager in Jackson, Tennessee. He's one of my favorites. I found him when he was 21 years old and trained him. He's only 28 now, already a GM. And the next day, Todd Friedman, he was in a 1%, and that's Chris Castle, who's helping us a lot with Hyundai marketing. She's an absolute stud on that. Everybody knows Ryan Reed's girlfriend there with me wearing the Robert Graham there. She's a beautiful girl. She's taken off. She moved to New York and doing good. This right below that was me on stage in Arizona at the local marketing summit. I love playing guitar. Taylor is my favorite, and I'm just a good old American boy. But that's it. So I'm the vice president of sales for Direct Hit Media and Spike Promotions. If you have any issues or need any help with sales, I'm the guy that can load your lips and get you there. We have a campaign called CarDrops that's been very, very highly effective with automotive, and it's getting better every day. So if you have any automotive clients, make sure you look for it. I'm not married, never had kids, but this is my best friend, Kramer. You should have seen him eating his rawhide last night. He was so excited he can't even explain it. He was like a little puppy. He was like a little kid because he had a rawhide. He's so proud of himself. Everybody knows my sidekick, Paulie. He is going to move and grow out of his position. He's wanting to start marketing some a rewards course and a birthday course and stuff like that. And honestly, Paul's a smart guy. I think it's time for him to do it. I don't want him to feel like he's under the thumb. Paul's been with me for 4 years. He started out as a Facebook moderator. He's a good friend, and I love him. So I want the best for him. I'll help any way I can. Here's the number 2 rule at Direct Hit Media before we get this call started. I want to make sure every single one of you understand this because, man, I tell you what, I got to be all rainbows and unicorns. Because if somebody negative gets in my life, it actually has a ripple effect, and it not only costs my own business money, it can cost some of our site partners money, and I don't want to rub off onto them like that. So number 2 rule, you've got to have a good attitude. If your attitude is bad, I will call you out. So you need to fake it. Put the smile on your face, all right? Number 1 rule is we have no fear. We don't know what it's like to fail. We're not afraid to fail. Okay. When failure, everybody runs from it and wants to act like they're perfect and they do everything right and all this stuff because, whatever. I don't start bashing, but honestly, I welcome it. I failed 1,000,000 times minimum in my life. I just too dumb to quit. I, I try it a different way. Now, by me having all those failures, guess what? That makes me a good trainer because I can keep you from making mistakes because I've already made them all. All right. Once again, with the client, the contractor leads, we did some stuff for William Mears, his mastermind he had in Fort Lauderdale, and we were able to get people's phones to start ringing with qualified clients calling and asking them, tell me a little bit about your leads. If you ask me, there's a big difference between you calling somebody saying, hey, give me a minute, I want to tell you about some leads I can provide for you, than somebody calling me and saying, hey, I'm interested, tell me a little bit of what you got. All right? It's kind of a shortcut path to results. I'm going to give you 2 links where you can actually order the RVMs, or our CarDrops is what we call them, and get the same type of campaigns that people had live there in Fort Lauderdale. But before you do that, whether you do it or not, I want to make sure you know how to handle the call. And I'm going to give you a slow script, turn everything off, write notes. I don't believe in writing scripts to where you sound like me and use my words. There's only one time that I'll give you a track that I'll tell you to use verbatim. I like to do bullet points, and I want you to make sure that you cover the bullet points whenever you're pitching. It'll make you sound much more natural. Nothing's worse than somebody that sounds like they're reading a script. Would you agree? Absolutely. Okay. What kind of clients would you consider when you think of contractor leads? Well, let me tell you, it's not contractor leads, for luxury items so much, so to speak. Those leads go for high money, but there's not a lot of demand for them. You know what I mean? They're harder to get, and that's why they bring more money. But it's easy to get, and what tends to get kind of the emotional buyer is a contractor lead for something that is an emergency fix. Who's had their plumbing go out in their house? Like I remember my ex-business partner, his pipes busted, and I mean he literally had sewage going through his basement. How serious is that when it happens? It's a red alert time, right? So obviously plumbing is a great niche for contractor leads. Everybody knows that roofing's hot as ever. It's always been pretty hot. It's probably slowed down a little bit, but they keep coming out with, they did a recall on the architectural shingles. I noticed up in the Northeast, I don't know how much out west, maybe Tony you can tell me, but up in the Northeast when we went to New Jersey, every 3rd or 4th house had solar, so it's starting to move towards solar, the roofing guys, right? We don't see so much solar down here in Florida or Georgia where I'm from. But I'm sure it's coming, right? Roofing's always been a very highly effective emergency contracting, okay? Let me tell you what else is important, and a lot of people don't think of this, and these leads are, they come and they pay off, and there's not a lot of car kickers. Generally, these leads are legitimate deals pretty much every time I've hooked somebody up. Garage door repair. How many people get irritated because they're sitting there and the damn garage door doesn't work? Man, if that button don't work and you can't drive in after a long day of work and shut the door behind you and get out and fall into the couch or stumble into the house and lay down and just give your feet a rest, nothing's worse than having to get out of the car and go mess with something that's broke and damn garage doors slams down and scares the heck out of everybody. Dog goes and runs and hides everything, right? Garage door leads rock. Okay. Give me some input. What other emergency niches do you think would have effective lead sales, such as the 3 I just gave you? What else? What else? Locksmith. Yep, locksmith's good. Roof is good. Yep. Here we go. What else? Right here. Mobile mechanic. Mobile mechanic leads freaking work. Now, I don't know what it is. Every mobile mechanic always starts out, man, I'll take any lead I can get. I just don't want to go back to the man. But once you start giving them leads, then they start going, well, I don't want to drive, but on the west side of town. And man, I went all the way out there, and the lady wanted quoted her, and she would do it today. Well, charge them a trip charge, man. You gotta bend, right? Um, all right. So this is us right now. You got the whole world against you. You got two different choices to make on what you're doing. You always want to make sure you think out of the box. Let's talk a little bit about the pitch when you have one of these call-ins, right? And ask you, hey, I got the message. I'm the guy. I would like to have some more jobs. What do you got, right? Does anybody have a headset that wants to go live? It's okay if you don't. I can do it alone. But if somebody did, it would just make it easier and give you a chance to practice on me instead of making a mistake with a client. Anybody here that's feeling brave today? Anybody willing to even just be the customer and I'll pitch you? Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Hmm? Okay, good, Chris. Thanks, man. All right, let's see here what I got to do to unmute you, Chris, Mr. Bass. Chris Bass, how you doing, buddy? All the way across the equator, right?
Hey, pretty good. Yourself?
Rockin', buddy. You're south of the equator down there, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, here.
I know you've been with us with me for over a year, or whatnot, and you've experienced a little bit of the contracting and then the automobile business and whatnot. So you've kind of went through the ranks or whatnot. So I think you're a perfect person. Thank you for coming live.
Yeah, I've actually done the call with did get my roofing lead through this process before, so.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember the exact script that I taught you when we were doing the coaching and stuff?
Let me see. It was like you'd send them the voicemail and you'd say, you'd act like if there's I've got some roofing jobs for you, and they call back. I'm trying to remember the exact words, but you'd say something like, hey, God, I didn't remember. God, it's been a while.
Remember we put limited scarcity on it, and I'll tell you why. I've told everybody the story about the GS 400. I had traded in with 129,000 miles. I put $8,000 in it. I posted on the Auto Trader for 11.9, and I had like 1,600 calls over the weekend. And so I actually retracted the ad, moved it to 14,995, ran retractions on the old price, and realized I'd underpriced the car, right? And so the thing that scares me is what would happen if, like in the car business, like for instance, a lead like that's worth about $15. What would I have done if I'd have known that I signed up with somebody at $15 a lead and I knew I was about to have to pay $22,500 for those leads? Because I put the wrong price on the car and I got 1,600 calls on one car, right? I would flip out. And I guarantee you a lot of these small businesses and contractors think the same thing whenever you go and hit them at an open-ended deal. They'll shoot you down just because they don't have deep enough pockets to worry about, man, what if I get clipped on this? I mean, yeah, I'll get the business, but, slow growth.
What I found the bigger pushback was the home advisor burned so many of these people. I think I might have told you that is these guys they've been so burned by buying leads that they think you're a home advisor. You literally have to say that I'm not home advisor somewhere up front. I found you actually literally had to almost do it instinctively to get keep them on the phone, because they're the people you get them to actually speak about home advisor, they'll give you their long. That's the best way of keeping them on the phone, I think. Sometimes they'll
get them to talk about themselves and their home advisor story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The good news of that is two things. One, most every person I know that got burned by Service Pro or home advisors bought the shared lead. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is home advisors will give you an exclusive lead. And I know several people that bought the exclusive leads. Now, they paid out the nose for them. But I've never heard somebody that bought the exclusive leads ever complain. They were like, dude, it was the best leads I ever bought. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a positive. That's one positive, and I'll tie that in. But the second positive is really, they've had this whole sandbox to themselves for a long time, and they've scratched off in it and did whatever they wanted because they have nobody that's going to, contest with them. A lot of people are ready for that new kid in the block, and heck, they might do business with you just because they want to see you be successful because they're so sick of dealing with the same guys.
No, I mean, one guy in Vegas told me a story. They literally stole money from his credit card. He just wanted the listing. He specifically told him no leads, and they started sending him crap leads and billing it for him, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And you should hear my roofer when he gets called, because he gets called by Home Advisor all the time. You should hear my roofer go off on him every time he'll literally like a string of swear words, you know?
That's awesome. It just burns his ass so bad that he still can get fired up every time they call, huh?
Exactly.
That's funny. Well, here's and I'll use roofing as an example. What I like to do, and I might leave a little bit of money on the table. There's no doubt that you're able to, go and get, $55 a lead unlimited, and make $40,000 off of one little roofer. But let me tell you a secret. I call bullshit, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of these roofers you call are going to be some guy and his son in a truck. Okay, that's a roofing company, right? Anytime a boom happens, you tend to get vagrants and fly-by-night business owners all of a sudden, right? And you're getting paid by the insurance company, so it really doesn't take a lot of startup capital to become a roofing company. All it really costs is 2 magnets on the side of your truck. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think any of those companies would ever sign up for a $50 or $60 lead and let you go run unlimited to their cell phone. I just don't believe it. I think it's all bullshit. All right. Now, maybe a medium size or an operator based, corporation would do something like that because they got the back ending to do it. But these mom and pop type places, you got to put a limit on the leads. Now, if you do it right, the way I'm going to show you, it will teach you how to do it with scarcity, and you'll create value for it by doing so. However, and you'll ease that tension of thinking, man, I hope they don't just go ham and all of a sudden I owe them thousands and thousands of dollars because, I got so many calls, hell, I couldn't even answer them all because I'm one person with a cell phone, right? So that's what I choose to do. Now, you can do easy math, right? It's easy math and it's a good round number. I tell them 40 leads at $25, or I tell them 25 leads at $40, depending on what niche it is, okay?
All right.
Both prices are still considerably 20 to 40% less than what Home Advisors is for the shared lead. Now, remember, you're providing them a exclusive lead, right? And when you provide the exclusive lead, make sure that you include a little bit of feature and benefit of. I always say, no, sir, we do not turn those leads into price-conscious customers by sharing them. We keep them all sweet and juicy for you to have all by yourself. Just make sure you take your time and eat the whole meal, right? You kind of draw that picture to make them cool, okay? All right, so you got any questions, Chris? I know you've had some experience with this. I'll go into the pitch if we're all straight.
Sure, how difficult do you want me to be on you?
Let's be easy the first time, and then I'll let you be the biggest asshole you can possibly be the second time.
Okay.
And I'll duck and weave and try and box my way out. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Hey, Chris, I know you're asking yourself if I just cold called you. I did, but here's the good news. Or they called back in, right? That's right. So
no, you left it. I called back in and said, did you have some leads or something like that?
I do. I do have some leads. Do you mind if I ask you just a few questions, only so I can better serve you and make sure you qualify for them?
Sure.
Okay. How many roofs are you doing a month right now?
Repairs or replacements?
Well, repairs and replacements. I was just going to ask you that next, but yeah, repairs and placements.
Maybe between the two, maybe like 5 repairs, 15 replacements.
So you are going to you do repairs? You don't outsource those? You'll handle both?
Oh yeah, we'll handle both. Just as long as this job's is over 500, we don't do anything under $500.
500 to get out of bed. Okay, I like that number.
Yeah.
And how many? What's your average repair? Is it 500 or more?
Oh, yeah, probably $1,000.
Okay. And what's your average roof?
In this area, maybe like 7,000, 10,000. Depends on obviously what the type of roof you're getting.
Yep. And how many roofs a month are you averaging right now?
Again, like 20 between new roofs. That's probably about completely like you're talking about build out, complete build outs, maybe five a
Yeah.
month.
New roofs are re-roofs. I mean, just complete install jobs, not repairs.
All right, I say five a month.
Okay, five. And how many would you like to be doing?
As many as I possibly can, man. You know the answer to that.
What do you what Chris? What are you staffed to handle? I mean, I'm sure there's a breaking point you could handle. What are you staffed with? What you got staffed right now? Do you got to bring on? If you doubled your business, would you have to bring on another person, or could you handle it?
Oh yeah, I could handle it. I might have to, seek some subs, but if I've got the business, obviously my competitor doesn't. So there'll be some people. There's always people. There always seem to be people around.
So I know you say you would take all the business you could get, but with the way you're scaled out right now, it's safe to say you could do maybe 5 to 10 more roofs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, definitely, definitely.
okay. And so at $10,000, if I got you 10 more roofs, that'd be $100,000 more in revenue.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And could you picture that right now in your head? How nice it would be to have $100,000 more worth of revenue flowing through the bank next month?
No, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. And are you buying leads from anybody right now?
We don't really don't buy leads, right? Honestly, I mean, I don't know. Is that why you're calling? I mean, because we really don't buy leads because we tried that in the past, and one of several that usually they'd be crap leads. We get these phone calls and it would just be like people that wanted $100 jobs, come and get my mobile home roof fixed and stuff like that. Or sometimes it'd be some of these places just give you a phone number, call, and they'd already made a decision with someone else. So it's like we just haven't had a lot of. We as a policy, as our general policy here, we just don't buy leads because it just never worked out well for us.
Right. And I know exactly what lead that you're talking about that caused you to stop buying leads. And actually that pain that you're going through is exactly what put me in business 3 years ago. And um the lead that you're probably talking about is a home advisor or service pro lead, and they're shared leads, and they create a price conscious customer, which doesn't work out for doesn't work out very well um, for the roofer, and I understand that. Now, if they would have been exclusive leads, and you were the only one that was going to go pitch them, and they were same investment, if not cheaper, do you think that would change the scenario of the bad experience you had in the past?
Yeah, yeah. As long as they're also like leads that were sort of high quality, like not for like the low end type of stuff, like real good
Right.
quality. Because obviously, a new roof and a knife subdivision is different from like some people that can barely pay for that are uninsured. They don't have their house insured and they can barely pay for a $300 repair.
Yeah, well, so, hopefully the majority of them would not be that way, but sometimes they do slip through the cracks. But here's the truth. I mean, if some of those slip through the cracks and they're just not a quality lead, I'm a man about it. I'd like to earn my keep. I would just remove that and say that one didn't qualify. That's not a quality lead, and you don't pay for it. Now, I've got you listed here that you're in 38961 Nagatuchi, Texas. Is that where you're located?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. If you could you said you would be interested if I could get you exclusive leads. So I'm going to put in here, and I see, okay, we do have leads that are in your immediate area that are available right now that we can obtain for you, but we do cap it though. I don't know how many leads that you could actually field or handle. We've got actually 25 leads at $40 a piece, which I think is considerable less than that shared lead you used to buy, but these are exclusive. And you're capped at 1,000. Your bill will never go over the $1,000 mark. However, when we start firing off these leads, sometimes we overshoot the gun, and you tend to get a few extra leads. We don't charge you for them; those are free for the month if you agree to just the $1,000 package. Now, what happens is 99 point out of 9 times is once you get these leads, you'll see they're pretty quality, and you get a system down, and then everybody always wants more. So the rule is if you we can start you out with the 25 leads, and if you make your payments ahead of time for 90 days in a row, we can submit for a lead bump increase, and pretty much everybody that pays on time gets approved, and we could then increase your leads to, sometimes even double the amount that you're originally buying, and build even more business than you're talking about. I know right now you're just looking for the 10 roofs, but man, at some point we could actually maybe be bringing in 20 roofs for you.
Sounds interesting. You have some information you could send me? Maybe you have a website or something?
I do have a website, and I do have information, but if there's anything that you're gonna want to ask or anything, I'd rather answer live than to be on paper, because it might not answer exactly what your questions are on the information. Normally at this point, when I'm talking to people, they see a ton of value and they're ready to jump all over because they don't want their competitors getting these leads that I'm providing in your area. What would be one reason that you would not be ready to purchase right now?
Oh, the main thing is just worried about like the quality, just like I said. I've had a lot of people promise me stuff before.
Sure.
Then you spend money with them, you come back, it's like, oh, that was that.
Chris, all we want is what we pay for. We just want to get, what we're paid for, and not anything less, and not really expecting a whole lot over, right? You want people to actually perform with what they promise, and I totally agree. And let me tell you the truth. I don't know how those people stay in business that are out there to just close one deal, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to get a client to jump onto the lead business. And when you do, if you don't perform for them, you're going to just be chasing your tail the entire time. Let me shoot you straight. I'm not here to do one-time business. I'm here to do lifetime business, right? And I would be out of business fast if I had one-time clients, because I just couldn't build my business up fast enough. We just don't charge that much money for these things. You know what I mean? But
right.
I like to look at it this way. It is going to take a little bit of trust between you and I, but I like to look at it this way. You've hired probably salesmen in the past, and if they perform, you keep them. If they don't, what do?
No, you fire them.
That's right, you fire them. So just like when you hire a salesman to go close some deals, I would ask that you hire me, let me prove myself, and if for any reason I fall short or do not hold up to my promises or your expectations, well, I'll understand I'm going to get that call where I'm probably going to get fired too.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet, but I want to go ahead and talk about it to let you know it's okay if you had to fire me. We'd walk away men, but that's not going to happen, man. You're gonna absolutely fall in love with these leads that I'm about to give you.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give it a shot. I guess 25 leads. Give it a shot. See how it goes.
Okay. You want to put it on credit card? Because what we do is we just do a $1,000 retainer, and then we send you an invoice every Thursday, and you just got to pay it before Monday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. All right, well, I'll go ahead and send it over and get it set up and get your email and all that whatnot. Okay, good job. Thanks, Chris.
All right, thanks.
All right. Did anybody can anybody talk a little bit or hear exactly what I was doing right there? Did people see the flow? Everybody knows the road to a sale, right? Meet, greet, pain, find their pain, right? Needs analysis, trial close, and close. What was the first trial close? Did anybody hear the very first trial close in the very beginning whenever I explained to them that we were different than the shared leads? And I said, can you see yourself with that extra $100,000 in the bank next month? That's a trial close. And that wasn't saying, are you going to buy? Will you buy from me? Will you send money? Will you risk your credit card number over the phone to a stranger? It didn't say any of that. All I said was, can you see the sitting back in your chair and that feeling, how good it's going to be when you close the deal, right?
Yeah, that's a new trick. I don't remember you even teaching that one before. I've heard you say it in the automotive group, but back on the leads course you'd had and stuff like that, I don't even remember that back then. That's one I hadn't tried before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. You always trial close, and if they pass the trial close, one trial close, and then you always hit them with a second trial close, right? Because they're, sometimes they're a little bit kind of, airy, right? They don't realize they're saying yes with the way you form the question. After they pass the second verified trial close, what are you supposed to do then? This is where a lot of salespeople make a mistake. What do you do when they answer positive on the second trial close?
You asked where to send the check? Probably not.
Dude, you start writing up your forms and your agreements. You shut up, and all they look at is the top of your head while you're staring down and filling out the forms, and you get it done. So many salespeople want to keep talking and keep talking. They talk themselves out of sales.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've been on TOs where the people are like, "Man, we've been trying to buy, he wouldn't shut up." I'm like, "Oh wow," you know, and it happens, right? So
Right.
that's important to understand that you go directly for the close once they pass one trial close, and then you verify the, with a second trial close to make sure that you're certain that they've committed without knowing that they actually said that their intentions are. Okay.
Right. Right.
All right. So let's start over real quick for respect of time. Let's start over real quick and do about 10 more minutes. And just you're in a bad mood. It's hot and muggy outside. Ashley,
Right.
um, and you can be as jerky as you want to be, right? You can be a real asshole, and you were a pretty good asshole last time you cold called with me. Thing.
Yeah,
So
that was really bad.
so you've practiced, right? You were I would say you were about a 7 out of 10 last time. So
Oh,
this
okay, that
time
wasn't bad enough. Okay.
I think you're gonna feel comfortable enough to definitely start tipping the meter on a 9, 9.5, maybe even a 10 on the asshole meter. So all right, uh, Chris, you ready?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Ring, ring.
Hello, Sid Michael.
Yeah, I just got a message that you had a roofing job you needed done.
Actually, I got a few in the area. Are you looking to get more business for your roofing?
Yeah, but is this, do you actually have an actual roofing job, or are you just trying to sell me something?
Well, the good news is I am trying to sell you something. However, the better news is that I'm not going to waste your time today. I know you get called all the time, and I'm sure you think,
Oh
man,
God, not another one. Okay, listen. Do you have an actual lead or not? Because I've been doing, like I said, I've dealt with these home advisor stuff before. I don't have time for this. I have a real business to run.
I totally understand. And if we have to reschedule for when you do have time to listen, that's fine. But I'll tell you right now, I was just as upset as you were with the home advisor stuff, and that very issue is what put me in business. I think you'll be very, very, very excited to hear what I exclusively got to offer you that none of your competitors have available yet.
Like, can you make it quick? Yeah, I
Absolutely,
only got two
of
minutes
course.
here.
Well, it's actually cut and dry. I produce leads. Our business model is to produce lifetime clients, not one-time clients. We would never in a million years even consider doing a shared lead like the home advisor leads you spoke of that you weren't happy with. We do an exclusive lead and even at a lesser price than what home advisors is charging. The reason why, the last thing I can do is ever share the lead out at a greed to make a few more bucks, but then turn all those great leads into price conscious customers that's then going to waste your time and take longer to close and sometimes lose the last minute. I'm not going to waste your time that way. I'd rather get a nice price, make a good a good profit, but give you an exclusive lead that you're able to then also make a healthy profit and have a nice easy close if they show
Yeah, but
interest.
how do I know? Listen, you know how many calls I get from? I literally
You
three or
you
four
probably
per
get 10 a
day.
day,
People
10,
saying
10,
they're
10
gonna
or
give
12
me
a day.
the best leads or whatever. This door flyers, all this other stuff, and you know
That's
what?
right.
I've used it all. None of it works.
Yep.
So what guarantees do I have? I give money with you. It's gonna be different than these other bozos that I speak to
Well,
on a daily basis.
absolutely. Well, we have quality control, and we put stops and to ensure that you do get quality leads. We can put minimums. I'm not going to charge you for a 10-second lead. I'm not going to charge you even for a 30-second lead. It's going to be a full 1-minute lead, or it's not a lead. Um, at the end of the day, if I don't produce good
What about
leads,
leads you just can't pay? Like, it's like some of these guys, they put these ads up in the worst. They got literally the worst quality people that they can only pay $200 for a patch job or something like that. How do I guarantee that I'm getting real jobs? Because I don't want to pay whatever it is per lead for a guy who's just going to come down and maybe it's a $200 job. How
well,
do you?
let me ask you just a few questions only so I can better serve you. Do you mind?
Sure, but keep it quick. Keep it quick.
I definitely will. How many roofs are you doing a month?
20.
What's your average roof?
Why do you need to know this information?
Well,
I mean,
just
are
because.
you going to give me real leads or not?
Well, what do you consider a road lead? A repair or install?
Oh, much prefer an install. I mean, I'd want a good job that's going to give me at least $2,000 in revenue. Ideally. I really don't want to fool around with small stuff.
Okay, and so you want $2,000 plus jobs, whether they're
Yeah,
repairs
yeah.
or okay, totally
You know,
cool. And
commercial business, some of the larger residential areas. I mean, I don't want to get the leads that are coming off like Craigslist and getting me like the smaller amounts and here and there.
right.
Because a lot of times I just find it was waste my time.
Yep. Well, let me ask you this. So, if and we can drill in and get you that really qualified lead, and there's not going to be many of them a month, but they're going to be very qualified, so therefore they'll pay off. I mean, rarely do we have an investment that's ever loses. In fact, never. But it's always a positive cash flow move for you. Now, do you want to get all the leads in your area and let you physically decide whether or not they need a new install, or do you want us to let the customer decide, and then you got to go talk to them after the customer's already made their mind up that they are an install?
Oh, the extent I have to
How many times
waste
you had a
time.
repair to do an install?
The extent they're better with the if I can just get qualified leads, that's what I'd want. Rather than having to sift through them.
Okay, so if I could get you nothing but roofing installs at $100 a lead, and I could probably guarantee you between 6 and 10 a month, would that be what you're looking
Yeah,
for?
if they're really qualified leads, I mean, if they're, I mean, like I said, I'm sort of skeptical on that because I've heard what other people say are qualified leads, but it was legitimate qualified leads from someone local in the area. Yeah, I might consider it, but you have to prove it to me first.
Okay, all right. Well, what kind of budget? What kind of budget are you working with?
Yeah, we got, but we don't really, we went more, we don't really have much of a marketing budget because we
For,
basically work mostly off
for the
referrals. I'm too busy to be running a marketing company. We get most of our business through referrals.
I totally agree, and that's why you're going to let me run the marketing company. However, after you hire me, if I don't perform, I will gladly understand and walk away with no remorse if you had to fire me for not performing. Never had it happen, but let's just give it the benefit of the doubt, and it could possibly happen. For those leads that you're asking for, they're going to be a little bit more expensive than other leads because you'd get some repair jobs. But these would be all installs. They're $100 a piece. I'll go to work on them. You just got to start out with a 1 week retainer of $1,000, and for any reason that I fall short, I'll reimburse you for the leads that I come short, or we'll add them to the next week and make sure that you get more leads.
So let me get this straight. If you're telling me you're sending me calls, and I found these calls are bullshit calls, you're not gonna charge me for them. I get my money back on those leads. Is that what you're saying?
Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm going to put stops on them, meaning if they're not 60-second calls, which anybody that's calling in legitimately trying to purchase a roof or inquiring, if they've never had an under 60-second call, especially on the first call, it's never went under a minute and been a qualified deal. So
No, but it could be someone calling to have their like the roof on their treehouse fixed too, though. That could easily go over 60 seconds.
yep, but it would be an install, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. If it was like I said, but you were just using the qualifier of 60 seconds. Like I said, what you're telling me is it's over 60 seconds. It's not an install. You're still not going to charge for me. So it's not. Is that what you're telling me?
That yes, but that's a simple way to make sure you get a higher quality lead. Did Home Advisors do that for you?
Don't even
Oh,
get
they
me
did give
started
you a
on
minimum.
those
How many
assholes.
seconds?
No.
But how many second minimum did they give you?
What seconds? They literally gave me the lead. Still go call them before. By the time you already called them, there's they never even call you back because they weren't real leads. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're giving you. They just give you freaking.
They created a good customer into a price conscious customer out of a little bit of greed to make extra 10 or 15 bucks.
They still have the
And gave
nerve
you
to
a
call
hassle.
me
That's
every
not a good
freaking
lead.
week. It's crazy. A different person each time,
Well,
different numbers. It's crazy. I freaking hate those guys.
it's 'cause they made a killing. They made a killing in this industry, and we're the only game in town for a long time. Here's the good news. I'm a small boutique. I only work with certain agencies that I feel right with, and I feel that I can over-deliver and over-perform. I'm just like hiring a sales guy. If for any reason I don't perform, you can fire me. There's no contracts, cancel anytime. However, I would obviously not be very successful in business if I got fired every time. So my model is to try and build lifetime clients, not one-time clients. And I'm going to do that for you if you have a little bit of trust and are ready to grow your business. Now, we talked about it. You said you're doing 20 roofs a month right now. Are you staffed to do any more roofs?
Oh, absolutely. I can do plenty more.
Okay. Yep, and I know you said you wanted a $2,000 minimum, but on an average install, I find it to be around 8 to 10 grand. Is that safe to say that's what you're averaging?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was even talking about, some of the smaller type of smaller roof repairs or whatever. I mean, just the main thing is there got to be some money in it, not one of these patch jobs.
If we increased your business 50% or 100%, would that make you happy, or how much more business do you think you could take on next month?
Oh, I could easily take on another 100%. No issues. I mean,
So,
it's a
so
slow market here.
another 20.
Everyone's looking for work.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people call you and tell you how they got the latest and greatest of everything, and that. However, I don't have the latest and greatest of things. I just have the guaranteed successful thing to front of you. And what I'm hearing is if you can increase your business 100%, that's 20 roofs. You're asking me for 200 grand. Okay. And
Hmm.
I'm willing to. I'll play the game where I only give you qualified leads. If you can. We won't charge you for any of the repairs. We'll only charge you for the install leads. They're $100 a lead. I just did a report. You're capped at only 30 leads though. You're only going to get 30 leads a month. If you do pay your bill on time over the next 90 days, we can submit a lead increase if you choose to at the time. And I've seen people actually get a double up. Is most you can expect anywhere from 10 to another 30 leads on top of the 30 if you want to after the 90-day trial period. But right now, you're approved for $3,000 in leads, all installs, no repairs. Are you willing to make that
Yeah,
investment to pick
essentially,
up an
you kind
extra
of start with two just to
200,000?
test, just to see you're not bullshitting me. You're not going to charge my credit card and go off to Bahamas or something.
Man, if it was up to me, I would love to do little tests like that. Unfortunately, we're running at a pace, and honestly, within the next 60 minutes, we're going to sell your market out. So we don't have time to actually sell these leads on a test. We've got them dialed in. We've been doing it for years. We know what we're doing. You got to have a little bit of trust. All I'm
Oh,
telling you
you've been
is
doing
with your
this. You got
$3,000 investment,
I mean, have you been doing this for years? It
with your
shouldn't be
three,
too hard to call any reference any past clients or something like that, just to verify you guys are legit.
I, hey, I can put together 5 or 6 people that are going to all tell all my friends that are going to tell you how great I am, or I can just actually handle it right now and let's take care of business right now and get you on the path. I'm offering you a chance to spend $3,000 with a potential return of 200 grand. That's a good bet even in Vegas, wouldn't you say?
I mean, but you don't think I'm gonna do more research? I'll be able to tell they're your friends or not. I'll be able to you know, check on their business too before I give them a call, make sure that they're licensed, bonded, all that stuff. I mean, reference checks are pretty standard, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do all the reference checks, and for any reason I don't pass it, we'll cancel immediately. But let me ask you this: to double your business and get $200,000 going into next month, do you think that's something that people sit around on their hands and it just comes to them? Absolutely not. I walk into roofing companies every day, and I know when people got it and when they don't have it. And a lot of people don't have it. But when I walked in today, I looked at you and I could tell you got it. You don't seem like somebody that's going to sit there and second guess yourself. Why are you second guessing yourself now? Let me answer whatever's making you feel reserved. Let me make you feel comfortable. I'm giving you only installs, and I want to see you get that 200 grand. How bad do you want 200 more grand? Did you not use it? You're telling
Oh,
me you don't need the
absolutely,
200
especially
grand?
this time of year. I got some bills to
Okay.
pay.
So is that not hedging your risk for a measly $3,000 investment to have a potential 200 grand return? Is that not a good gamble around here?
Yeah, I keep thinking about the 3,000, the risk I took on at Home Advisor and some of these other people's. I was telling myself the same thing then.
Right. They were they were doing exclusive. They were doing shared leads. I'm doing exclusive leads. That right there is going to handle the majority of it right out of the gate. But don't tell me that you're going to let $3,000 investment get in the way of a potential $200,000 deal. And once again, do you really think I'd get rich if I just sold everybody $3,000 one time? We would already be out of business. The way that we've been able to maintain and actually build our and grow as fast as we are is we over deliver to a lot of people that were skeptical because they all got burned with the home advisors. Give me a chance, invest 3 grand in your company, look like a hero next month with 200 more grand on your books.
All right. Let me think about it and get back to you. What's your number?
Well, uh, when you say think about it, please understand that the second you hang up, my power dialer starts dialing other roofing companies that are right down the street or across the street from you. And I promise you, I sell about a market an hour, and it's going to be gone in 60 60 minutes. So it's really kind of something that you got to think of now. Now, if it was $3,000 and you had a potential to return $5,000, I can understand. But come on, man, how many times would you give me $3,000 if you knew you could cash it in for a $200,000 cashier's check every time?
Hey, look, I'll give you a $3,000 every day if you just pull out, but 30 leads is a lot. Well, can we just start at 10, 1,000? Or 10 calls.
A thousand leads.
If you're telling me what you're saying is right, I mean, I'll order the 3,000, no problem. But I need some level of comfort that before.
If I was able to get a $1,000 buy-in right now, would you do business right now today?
Sure.
All right. Well, here's the good news and the bad news. The good news is I can get you a great deal. The bad news is I can't do that. What I can do is do 20 leads, not the 30. I'll do 20 because we got to make sure the market's, the majority of it's getting handled, because we're not gonna hire another roofing client in your area. So that those 10 other leads that you're talking about passing on are really just kind of going to go to waste. You got to at least take a little bit over 50% of them. So I've got 20 of them. When you hit that 20, if you say, Sid, keep it going, I'll allow you to PayPal me and fill up the retainer again. What we're going to do is put that in as a retainer. When it starts to get low, we're going to call you and we're going to need you to fill up quick, because the last thing we're going to do is stop the train, because it's hard to get it started back up again.
Right. All right.
$2,000. Yeah, there you go. All right.
I'll give it a shot.
What's your email? What's your email so I can send an invoice?
Best roofer at roofslocal.com.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna email that to you, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna follow up with you because we got to get this in. We've got about 40 minutes. Is there any reason you can't fill out? It's just simple information, that and your credit card information, and get it back to me within the next 30 minutes, and that way I can get you on the book today.
Well, the only thing is I'm away from I'm actually on a job site right now. I'd actually need to get back to my get back home in the next couple hours or so to get that done right now. I can't do it from where I'm at right now.
Okay. Would you say it's safe to say you could do it before tomorrow morning, a.m.?
Oh, sure, no problem.
All right. I'll tell you what. If you get this in before lunchtime tomorrow, how many people are in your average crew?
About 20.
20 people doing the roof? That's a big crew.
Well, yeah, it depends on the job size. It can actually be as little as 3, as much as 20 on a larger job.
All right. Well, I tell you what. If you get this in by 12 o'clock tomorrow, I'll give you a $100 Applebee's gift card to help you buy your best crew lunch one day next week. But you got to get it to me before lunch tomorrow, because I'm going to go ahead and write it on the board.
Okay. Hey, no problem.
All right, cool. I'll email this over to you, and I appreciate it. Thank you for taking time. And hey, hopefully, and I have no doubt, to be honest, we'll talk again, and this is the start of a new friendship. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Great. Thank you. All right.
Thanks.
Good job, Chris. All right.
Thanks.
Anybody see? Thanks, man. Hey, did anybody hear or learn anything on that? I think Chris did a good job pushing back, you little clever shit. But the reason why is because he's called so many of them and heard all that stuff. Right? Every one of those turn downs, you've been told, right?
Oh yeah. And a lot, and to just like dampen people, a lot of people will not even, they will hang up on you, like after the second or third. They won't even like bother. That's one of the most frustrating things when you're actually going through it. Is like a lot of times they will just hang up and not even allow you to spend the objection. You got to be sort of prepared for that when doing it.
Right. You don't even have a chance. It's like, how dare you hang up on me? But it happens. You got to be fixed again. Go again. You know what I mean? And at least you want to be able to do is have your chance, right?
Right. No, that's the hardest. The usually what I found is a lot of the conversations, like they will end like within the first sentence or two. They'll be like the minute they suspect you're trying to sell them something, they just like completely zone out and hang up the phone.
Sure.
That actually happens a lot. And,
sure. And the reason why is because they get beat up so many times that they almost gotten to the point where they don't even see you as human. You know what I mean? You have no pulse. That's why people use evidence manuals. Unfortunately, over the phone, it's hard to do, right?
Yep.
When somebody goes, hey man, I just don't need sales or anything like that, I go, dude, you got to listen to me or my dog will die. I
have learned something from listening to my roofers calls about some of the stuff that people do that keep him on the line, though. Which is sort of interesting.
What have you heard?
I heard a guy pitching AdWords one time, and he said that he said I can have you on the first page of Google tomorrow, and I'm actually doing this guy's SEO now, actually. So so
So
he is
hey, no
interested.
pressure.
He's
You
like,
got to have them
and
on Google tomorrow.
yeah, but the guy says, well, I can have, and I've been telling him it's going to take 2 to 3 months. I'm on the second month of doing this guy's SEO, and he's like, and the guy says, I can have you on page 1 tomorrow. And then all of a sudden he starts going, well, it's through Google AdWords or whatever. But he kept him on the phone for 3 minutes, and he realized it was AdWords. He sort of like, he sort of cut them off. And then he actually later asked me about AdWords, and I told him, yeah, the thing he didn't tell you is how much those leads are going to cost you. But
Yeah.
well, actually, it would pay per call. Actually, that's one of the reasons I actually signed up
Wow.
for the Call Zoo thing as well. I want to get my roofer some more leads, and actually, I've tried the pay per call myself before, and doing it myself, it's actually, if you don't know what you're doing, you can spend over $50 a lead.
Yep.
You there?
Even though they click, not yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, yeah. With a click to call, not only are you, the click, counts as the call, but you only get like 90% of them actually then press it again to call. So you do have a little
Yeah, well,
breakage here. But
the thing I found when I was trying it, like I just started, actually I just like signed up recently, so I'm just getting started with this, my roofer, is what I found is when I was trying the pay per call myself, what I found is most of the people who call in were telemarketers. So, but it's funny
well,
actually. Listening to those, but if you get a client, listening to those calls can be very valuable in terms of trying to figure out how to get them because you'll hear your own person being pitched, you can hear what works. So sort of what I was trying to say is the point. It's actually when you get a client, actually that there's things I've thought about after listening to some of these conversations.
hell yeah, man. That's value, man. Knowledge is power for sure. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. I want to respect everybody's time, and we got some more trainings coming up here in just a few minutes. So, hey, thanks for jumping on, Chris. Always good to see you, man. I hope you're not freezing or what is it, hot or cold down there now?
Hot. It's more
It's
mild
hot.
than usual
All right.
though.
It's 80 where I'm at. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Well, hey, with respect to everybody's time, hopefully it was a little bit of a change of pace, but hopefully you picked up some extra stuff. If you liked the training that you just heard, put a 1 in the question box. It'll help me out to know when you're getting value. And if I wasted your time, put a 2. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for all the 1s. And I'll see you soon. See you on the next call. Thank you so much. Learning how to sell contractor leads via the phone. Thank you.